You're probably wondering what this is all about. Me chatting to you from my garden. So I think I need to explain. I'll begin at the beginning. 5 years ago, I moved here to the northeast of Brazil and started a new life. Given up teaching, and the idea was to become a man of leisure and enjoy my art. At the beginning, my time was spent finishing building the house, getting married, sorting out finances, renting my apartment in Sao Paulo, overcoming all sorts of basic problems, but eventually I settled into some sort of work routine. But I had a lot of time in the day to fill, and empty spaces and time to fill. Pretty soon I was sucked into the internet, and I started reading up and listening to podcasts about how to reinvent your life. And there's a lot of stuff out there, as I'm sure you're aware. And there's a bit of an irony to all of it. You watch your first video on how to avoid procrastinating, and then you watch your second, and then the third. And sometime later on, you get the joke. I mean, that's exactly what you're doing. And someone coined the phrase sort of word porn or mind porn, and it is, to a degree, it is like that. It's, all the self-help stuff. It's addictive, and a lot of people telling you stuff that you already knew, and other people telling you stuff that, well, of questionable value, and there's a lot of repetition. But after a while, in that repetition, I started to see patterns, and there seemed to be emerging some things that seemed to me to be, well, for me personally, truths, things that I think are valid for all of us. That's what I want to do. I've been thinking about this for a while, as is my want. I've been thinking about this for a few years, to start some sort of video just sharing these ideas with you. It's kind of been, I guess, stimulated by the rather unfortunate accident that my late friend Mike suffered. So really, if I want to talk to people, this is, in English, this is the only way to go about it. And the first idea I wanted to share, finally getting to the point, is something that my friend Mike and I used to talk about a lot. And I suppose there's many guises. This idea is expressed in many different ways, in different directions. But it's basically this. He'd say action precedes motivation, or maybe action precedes inspiration, or action precedes understanding. The thing is that, if you just read and research and think and mull over, and, well, you're really getting nowhere. It's a blind alley. And the only way to start something is to start. You're never going to be ready. Never. And even when you think you're ready, you're not ready. And when you finally have corrected the things that you thought you hadn't done when you thought you were ready, and you start, you're still going to be gripped by that sort of, it's not really quite the time. And it's never going to be quite the time. So in this first little clip, it's probably quite obvious to you, the extent of my technological mastery is pressing the record button on my phone. I do have a tripod. Somewhere in the house I have a small microphone, but it doesn't seem to make terribly much difference. So this is it. This is as technologically stripped down as these talks could possibly be. And I have no understanding of the niceties of video editing, so what I record is what you're going to get. In a way, I think that was one of the ideas when the internet was really rather not the internet, but the sort of social media, things like YouTube and things like that's really started taking a hold. I think there was this idea of a great democratization of creativity, that anyone could take part. You know, if you had an idea and you got a phone, you could record it and share it, or whatever area of endeavor you were chasing after. But over the last couple of years, looking at all these self-help channels and masters and podcasts, and you start realizing that it's not one person with a camera. Pretty much most of the time, it's a team effort. It's a recording studio. There's a green screen, so that beautiful, idyllic garden with a water fountain. Who knows if the guy's in California or in the middle of the Arctic? There's just no way of knowing. So what I'm really trying to do is get back to, I think, what the basic idea was. Share an idea. Don't worry about whether you are qualified to share the idea or whether you have the skill to do it in a way that is going to impress people. Just share the idea. And I guess today's idea that action precedes motivation really is what it's all about. Over the weeks to come, I hope to record a number of these little chats. I hope they're useful. I hope they're interesting. If you do find them interesting, or if you have an idea that you want to share, or some constructive criticism, how I could do things better, perhaps without breaking with the concept, I'd love to hear from you, and so please leave a comment. What this isn't about is generating thousands of thumbs up and likes, and eventually there's going to be the blog and the book and the courses, and I'm going to have a marvelous passive income stream, which seems to be one of the ideas that's floating around quite a lot. I mean, I might eventually write a blog, and who knows, I might one day write a book, or I mentioned before on my Facebook page that I'm interested in sharing some sort of online learning material, and I'll say more about that in the future. But the idea isn't that this is my life and this is a business. The idea is to just share an idea. So if action precedes motivation, I guess a good place to end would be, even if you don't feel terribly motivated to write a comment, pop down the first thing that comes to your head, 10 seconds, spit it out, and we'll see where it takes us. Until the next time, ciao.